everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Sophie and I would love it if you click that big red subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell as well so that you never miss a video. Now you will already know from the title that this video is going to be a North Wales travel guide. Now I studied at Bangor University for 4 years. I didn't spend the entirety of my 4 years in Bangor, but I spent a lot of time there. If you don't know where Bangor is, it's in Gwynedd, which is in North Wales, and it's very close to Anglesey and Snowdonia, so I spent a lot of time exploring the area and Conwy as well. So those will be the places that I will be mentioning in this video. I will say that I'm sure there's other beautiful places worth visiting in North Wales that I'm not going to mention in this video, and that's just because I don't drive, I don't have a car, so I wasn't able to visit some places that were just a bit awkward to get to with public transport from Bangor. Maybe they're easy to get to with public transport from elsewhere in Wales, but yeah, just thought I would mention that, but I do have, yeah, a lot of experience exploring North Wales and a lot of beautiful places that I would like to share with you all. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. I'm going to start by talking about castles, because there are some incredibly beautiful castles in North Wales. I know Wales are really well known for their castles. So I'll start with Conwy because I feel like that's the most famous one. That's the one that I always see on social media, and Conwy is a beautiful castle. It's definitely worth visiting. I believe I paid about £9.50 last time I went. I can't remember, but I believe it was like £9.50 for an adult ticket, and they did not have a student price, which annoyed me a lot, but they didn't have a student ticket. I don't believe they did anyway, but it's definitely beautiful. It's definitely worth it. You get really nice views of the mountains in Conwy up there as well, and yeah, I can't tell you much about the history because I don't think I really read about it the last time I went. I read about it the first time I went. Last time I went, I think I spent too much time taking pictures for Instagram, to be honest with you. But yeah, the next castle I want to mention is Caernarfon, another beautiful castle. I can't tell you how much it is to enter the castle because both times I went, I actually went on a trip with the university and got entrance for free. So I can't tell you how much yet that is. You'd have to look on the website. I imagine it's fairly similar to the other castles that I'm going to mention, because I think the prices are fairly similar across all of the castles. But yeah, it is another beautiful castle worth visiting. And next I want to mention Beaumaris because that's one of my favourite castles, so I have to mention it. I think I love this one so much because it has this moat around it, so it makes it a bit different to Conwy and Caernarfon Castle. That's how I see it anyway. I see it as slightly different, and I really love Beaumaris Castle. Again, I can't tell you how much the entry is because when I went it was in my first year of university, so the prices probably would have changed a lot since then. But also my dad paid for my ticket because I went with my family, so yeah, I got quite lucky there. I'm quite grateful for that. But it is a beautiful place worth visiting, and Beaumaris itself is worth visiting. Yeah, I'll mention all the towns that are worth visiting later on, so you will hear Beaumaris, Conwy and Caernarfon come up again in this video. And yeah, my next favourite castle is Portmeirion, which is very different from the other three I mentioned because it is, you know, it was built during a different time, and I think that's why I like it so much, because it is different to the others. When I went, it didn't feel like I was just seeing the same thing elsewhere, although none of them are exactly the same, but you know what I mean. I don't want to say all of the castles are the same. I don't want to insult anybody or insult the Welsh culture or anything like that. Just this one was very different, and I think I liked the style of it. It was quite elegant. I think I just preferred the way it was built, and the fact that you know there were rooms to go around and go and explore, fancy rooms, whereas the others there's no rooms. It's just an old castle. There's nothing to really go explore. But Portmeirion Castle is in Bangor. It's actually just outside of Bangor, so it's a little bit of a trek because you can get a bus that takes you to the gate, but even then it's a long walk from the gate because it's more designed for people going via car. like a lot of places seem to be. I felt like I was walking forever. I think I decided to walk to Penryn because I didn't think it was that far, and well, I think it said it was like 45 minutes, and I was like, that's fine, but I didn't realise from the gate it was like another 15 minutes, so I walked for like an hour, but it was definitely worth it. And when I went, there were daffodils there, because I believe I went in March, and daffodils are the Welsh national flower, if you didn't already know that, so it was just really nice. And yeah, that's definitely one of my favourite castles, because I just remember there being this really elegant staircase, and I absolutely loved it. Another castle which I haven't been to, but I will mention just because it was on my Welsh bucket list and I'm really sad that I didn't get to go to it, is Harlech Castle. It looks amazing, it's by the coast. I think I would love to explore the town itself as well. I was meant to go explore there, but it's only a 50-minute drive or 55-minute drive, something like that, from Bangor, but it was a bit awkward to get to via transport. You had to like change a bit, and it took like 3 hours and like 20 minutes, which is why I didn't end up going. I was going to get a lift off a friend and we were going to go together, but then I was unwell and I was isolating, so I didn't get to go, but I would definitely like to go there one day in the future, so I thought I'd mention it anyway. And next I want to talk about beaches, because there are so many incredible beaches in North Wales. The beaches I'm going to be suggesting are only just going to be scratching the surface of like all the beaches there are to see, because there are so many beaches that I didn't get to visit. I'm going to start with Newborough, because I think that is the most famous one in Anglesey. It's the one that comes to mind anyway whenever I think of a beach in Bangor, and I think it was my, yeah, I would say it's my favourite one out of all the beaches I've visited. Newborough's quite big. I call it Newborough Beach, but I think the name is actually something else. It's not Newborough Beach, but it's near the town of Newborough. But it's absolutely beautiful. There is a lighthouse there. I did get a picture when I went that I was just really proud of, with the lighthouse, and I think that's when I first started trying to, take photos in manual mode. I'm not sure, maybe I didn't, but I think it's the first time I tried to be a bit artsy with photos. Maybe you won't think it's artsy, but I thought it was artsy. But yeah, it's absolutely beautiful there, and you can see the mountains. It does get quite busy though, I will say that, because it is so popular. So when my friend drove us there, you know, we were waiting so long just to get in and out of the car park, so I would bear that in mind, that if you're going, just allow extra time in your day for getting in and out, especially if you are going on a hot day. Like, this was a day in October, but just a sunny day in October, and it took a while. You can get a bus to the town of Newborough and walk from Newborough. I believe it's like 40 minutes, but it goes through a forest there. I was gonna do that, but I never ended up doing that, which is a shame, because I'm sure the forest would have been lovely as well. Next beach I want to mention is Rosniger, which is one of my favourites, just because it's so convenient to get to, and again, you can see mountains from it. And I think what I like about this one as well is that there's people windsurfing there, so I can imagine it could be, you know, if you like windsurfing, it's definitely worth visiting. I don't like windsurfing, but it felt, I don't know, both times I went it felt quite calm. I wasn't going on a busy day though, or you know, a busy sunny weekend, so maybe that's why, but it felt quite chill, like it was just dog walkers and people windsurfing, and it was just me there who wanted to just enjoy the mountains and the beach and take photos. But it was really nice, and there's a nice cafe near it above this little like sports shop as well, which does have a balcony, but last time I was there the balcony was under refurbishment. I don't know if it's you know, if you can go back on the balcony now or not, but the balcony was really nice when I went the first time, because obviously I had views of the beach. So the next beach I want to mention is Red Wolf Bay. Now this beach I don't know if I have footage of, because I went during my very first week of uni and before I was collecting footage for this video, so I will have to have a look on my hard drive. Hopefully I'll be able to undig some sort of footage. But yeah, this was actually one of 3 beaches that I visited on that day. My flatmate Maisie drove a bunch of us. It was literally the first week of uni, and I don't think we really had a plan. She just wanted to go to a beach where people could walk dogs, I think, because she wanted to see dogs. I can't remember. But that's one of the ones we ended up at, and that's the one that really stuck out to me the most, so I thought it was worth mentioning. And yeah, I would have loved to gone back, but I don't know if you can get there without a car or not. The problem is there's lots of nice beaches in Bangor, but I feel like in Bangor, near Bangor, but when I was there a lot of the time I was either studying or the weather wasn't nice enough, and then when the weather was nice I had work to do, uni work, so it's always the way, isn't it? When you're free the weather's not nice. So next beach, is that actually, I don't know what I've written there. I think I wrote Llanfecin, is that what it's called? I don't know, it's the stop before Bangor on the train, so I should know, but I don't. But this one isn't my favourite one because it's a stony beach, and I don't like stony beaches, but I thought I should mention it in case you prefer stony beaches, and it was a very cute beach, I will say that. And I remember there being a cafe and stuff there, and I did have a cute fun day there. I still loved going there, and I thought it was very nice. I just prefer a sandy beach because I find it more comfortable to, you know, rest on the sand than the stones. But for those who prefer stony beaches, I thought it was worth mentioning. And also there is a stony beach in Llandudno, I should mention as well, which is the main beach in Llandudno. It's called the North Shore Beach, but I always think of it as the main beach because that's where the pier is, and there's loads of hotels down there. It's the one that you won't miss, because it took me a while to realise it is actually another beach in Llandudno, which from what I've seen online is sandy, but I haven't been. Oh, and Conwy Bay looks really nice, because whenever I'd get the train from Bangor to London Euston and vice versa, I always thought it looked really beautiful, but I never went. I always said I would go, but I never did. Anyway, I want to talk about Snowdonia next, because I mean, if you're visiting North Wales, you probably want to visit Snowdonia at some point, even if it's just for a day. So I'll start with Llanberis because I feel that that is quite a central point in Snowdonia and a point that a lot of people visit, because it's where you actually get the train up to Mount Snowdon if you don't want to walk up Mount Snowdon, or you're unable to walk up. You have the option to get the train up, and there is a cafe up there as well. So sorry, my camera stopped filming for some reason. I'm assuming my memory card was full, so I've put in a new memory card now, so hopefully there won't be any problems. But as I was saying, you can get a lovely view still from Mount Snowdon without having to climb up it. But if you do want to climb, you know, hike up Snowdon, there is a path that starts from Llanberis as well, called Llanberis Path. There are other routes you can take, so it's worth having a real look into it and seeing what route you would be interested in doing based on your abilities and how much of a challenge you want, because some are much more challenging than others. I would say Llanberis Path is a very easy one. I don't know if it's the easiest because I haven't done them all, but it is just kind of like a slope the whole time. You know, there are moments where it's steep, but it is just like a slope. There isn't scrambling or anything like that. So, I mean, I don't think there was any scrambling. It's been a long time since I've gone up Snowdon via Llanberis Path. But yeah, also in Llanberis there are loads of cafes and stuff. There are the 2 lakes there. There's the Slate Museum, which I'm not a big fan of, but I believe it's free. And I mean, it depends what type of museum you're interested in. I find some museums really interesting and others not at all. There were some cool houses there, like slate style houses though, which I got some nice pictures with. And yeah, by the lake as well, there's this tree called the Lone Tree, and I know you think it's over, why are you telling us about a tree? But it just looks really nice because it's by itself in the water, and you've got the mountains behind it, and it makes for a really nice photo. And there were people like paddle boarding by it whilst I was there, because there is like a water sports centre there, so you can rent out a paddleboard, or I'm assuming a kayak, or whatever you prefer. And there was a cafe there as well, which was nice. I went there with my parents and I got these loaded veggie bean chili nachos that were really good. And we had a lovely view of the lake from like the little balcony as well. So definitely a good place to stop for something to eat in Llanberis. And then I couldn't talk about Snowdonia without mentioning Bewts-y-Coed. I should apologise actually for butchering any Welsh names throughout this video. I didn't really take the time to learn Welsh whilst I was in Bangor, which is probably quite bad considering I did a modern languages degree, but I just focused on the 3 languages that I was studying as part of my degree and didn't really try and learn Welsh. But yeah, anyway, moving on from that, Bewts-y-Coed is very, very, very beautiful. It's definitely worth a visit, and you know, you can go there and see Snowdonia without having to do a big hike, because you go there, you see like some, you can see, I think you can see mountains in the distance. I can't remember, but there's just cute little buildings, there's cafes, there's sports shops there, good quality sports shops for like sports gear. There was like this little, you know, part of the river that just looked really nice. And what I did when I went with my friend Berdine is we went and hiked to Swallow Falls, because there's this nice waterfall just outside of Bewts-y-Coed. You do have to pay to get into the waterfall, just like, I think it was like £2 or something silly, just, you know, to maintain its upkeep and make sure it doesn't just get ruined. So it's definitely worth the like £2. It's a beautiful, beautiful waterfall. We did follow the All Trails app for a hike. They're not to sponsor it or anything, but not to sponsor it or anything. This isn't sponsored. That's what I wanted to say. But we did get a little bit lost at the end, because the route we were following didn't tell us that we had to actually cross over the river at some point. And we saw loads of other people crossing over the river that were going the same way as us. So we're like, should we have done that? And then we kind of got to the end of the route and asked someone where we were going, because it said we were at the end and we hadn't seen it, and they were like, you're meant to be at the other side of the river. So then we had to kind of walk back on ourselves. So just bear that in mind. There might be more than one hike on the All Trails app there anyway, but if you're following the All Trails app, bear that in mind, that you might end up on the wrong side of the river and then have to cross over. And next I want to mention Aber Falls, because it's another incredibly beautiful waterfall, and there's a gin distillery in North Wales as well called Aber Falls. I'd always see the little bottles of gin at the pubs. I'm thinking about it, I don't know why I never tried Aber Falls gin whilst I was there. That was a big mistake of mine, not trying that. But yeah, Aber Falls, it's incredibly beautiful. I used the All Trails app again to do a circular walk around Aber Falls, and I realised there was actually another waterfall nearby as well, and I had a really fun time this time, didn't get lost, saw cute baby lambs, because it will, I'm saying baby lambs, lambs are babies, saw lambs in there, because I was there in March and I got this photo of one and it looked like it was smiling at me. It was amazing. I definitely won't forget that day. There were people swimming in Aber Falls as well. I did know people went swimming there, but I didn't realise people do it in like March still. It was a hot day in March, but I didn't realise that was a thing, because yeah, I've never done wild swimming or something like that. And then whilst I was watching them, I was like, damn it, I wish I had brought my swimwear with me. But yeah, absolutely worth it, Aber Falls. And this is one that you can get public transport to from Bangor as well, because I didn't realise you could until like the very end of my time in Bangor. Well, and actually Llandudno and Conwy, because the bus that goes from Bangor is the number 5 bus that goes to Conwy and Llandudno, which obviously means if you're getting it the other way, you can get to Aber Falls. So you can also get to Aber Falls via public transport from Conwy and Llandudno. And yeah, it's just the number 5 bus to Abergwynin, I think it is, where you start the hike, but I'll have to double check the name. But yeah, that's all I can really say about Snowdonia. Obviously there are more hikes to do, but I always went on hikes with the Mountain Walking Society in my first year, and I can't really remember the names of all the mountains we hiked, but there's loads of different peaks you can hike up, and obviously walks, lowland walks with just views of the mountains you can do as well. There's also another cute village called Beddgelert that I never ended up going, and yeah, there's those like Sipweld attractions in Snowdonia as well. The one that you'll probably think, yeah, the one that you probably will know is the really fast zip line, but yeah, I didn't do that. I was scared. Also, it's a big expense as a student. The one I really wanted to do was the underground trampoline park in the caves, and I really wanted to do that for like my birthday, but then when I was looking at buses and having to change over, and just it was a bit awkward, and I was like, if I'm then late, like ridiculously late for my book slot, I would have been losing a lot of money, so I didn't end up going. Okay, so next I want to mention Portmeirion, because this isn't actually on my list, and I don't know why it's not on my list, because it was on my bucket list for North Wales for years before I ended up going, but you may have heard about Portmeirion. You probably have seen pictures of it on Instagram. It is an Italian style village in North Wales. I actually posted a vlog about Portmeirion, which I will leave here. So yeah, Portmeirion is definitely worth visiting. It's incredibly beautiful. It just doesn't look like anything else you would see in the UK, and you have a beach there as well, and there's all these walks you can go on there, so it's definitely worth a visit. And next I want to mention the Lon train sign, because I can't not mention the Lon train sign, really, can I? If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm not going to say the name of the place. I'll tell you, it starts in like Llanfair and ends in Gok Gok Gok, and that's it. But yeah, I believe it used to be the longest train sign in the world, but I believe the longest train station sign in the world now is actually in New Zealand. Or maybe that's the second longest, but I'm pretty sure New Zealand beat Wales. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it's like the third longest now, or something like that. I can't remember, but it's a very long train station sign. Basically, go there, get your picture with a long train station sign, maybe go to the gift shop if you want to afterwards, but you're not going to spend a lot of time there. So I would suggest going somewhere else in Anglesey on the same day. If you're driving, maybe go, I mean, you can go wherever you want in Anglesey on the same day. If you're getting the train, maybe get off, at the place with the long train station sign, and then get back on and go to like Rosniger or go to Holyhead. Yeah, that's what I'll say. So next I want to talk about some cute towns that are worth visiting. So I'll start with Menai, because that's very close to Bangor. So that's the one that, yeah, I've been to the most, I believe, because you can even walk there from Bangor if you want to. You don't have to. There is a bus that goes there. But yeah, Menai is, well, it's where the Menai suspension bridge is, which is definitely worth taking a look at. It's an incredible bridge that connects Wales to Anglesey. There's another bridge as well. Well, there's Britannia Bridge. I don't know if there's any more, but they're the two that you can see from Bangor, so they're the two that I know. But yeah, so it's over in Anglesey. You can see the Menai Strait, obviously, because it's Menai, and you can go for lovely walks there. You can go for a walk along Church Island, and you can get a view of the bridge from Church Island as well. There is like a spot, like a patch of grass as well, like right near Menai, where you can go, right near Menai, right near the bridge, where you can get good views of the bridge. There's also, wait, I'm pretty sure what I've written on my notes isn't the correct name, so I'll check my Instagram post, but there's Plas Cadnan Hidden Gardens, which I didn't hear about until like 2 weeks before I was going to leave Bangor, and I'm so glad I ended up going, because they are incredibly beautiful. I believe I paid like £9.50 to get in, which I was annoyed about at the time, because I didn't realise I was going to a paid attraction. When my friend suggested those gardens to me and said hidden gardens, I thought it was like how stuff in Bangor gets nicknamed. Like, there's a place called Roman Camp that the Romans definitely didn't go to, and there's a place called Secret Beach. So I thought it was just going to be like a little garden that was kind of hard to find. I didn't realise it was like a tourist attraction with tour buses going there, but obviously I understood why I had to pay when I was there, and I saw how beautiful it was, and understood that, you know, they needed that money to upkeep it. And there was a waterfall there as well, and it was just a lovely, you know, a lovely way to have a lovely nice walk. So yeah. camera overheated, so I had to wait for it to cool down a bit, but I wanted to just mention that one of my favourite restaurants is in Menai as well. It's called Dylan's. They do have one in Llandudno as well, and they do have one in another place which I'm going to leave here because I will butcher the name of it, but the thing that I do like about the Menai one, that's the only one I've been to, but what I really like about it is it has this lovely view of the Menai Strait, because they have this little kind of terrace bit downstairs and a little balcony bit upstairs as well, so you get lovely views on the Menai Strait, and the food is always really good. So next I want to mention Conwy, which you may remember me mentioning earlier, because I mentioned that it has an incredible castle there, which is definitely worth a visit, but as well as that, it's a nice place to go for a day trip, not just to go to see the castle. It's super beautiful. There's Britain's smallest house there, which I've never actually been inside just because it's only ever open during the summer months, so you can still see it from the outside. I've had photos outside it, but I've never been inside. I believe it is about like £1 to enter. I mean, I don't feel like I missed out much by not going inside because it is Britain's smallest house after all. There's not going to be a lot to see there, but I do think I would have enjoyed going inside had I been there on a day when I could have gone inside. But yeah, Conwy's a nice place to go for a walk as well, because the town itself is just super cute, and it's by the seaside again, so yeah, it's a lovely place to go for a walk. And I remember there being a nice ice cream shop there, but I can't remember what it's called because I got ice cream there once during my first year of university. But you know, keep your eye out, keep your eyes peeled for an ice cream shop if you go to Conwy. So I also want to mention Llandudno, which is near Conwy, and the sightseeing bus actually runs between the two. I've never got the sightseeing bus, but if you're a fan of a sightseeing bus, it runs between the two. And yeah, I do feel like you can do Conwy and Llandudno in a day, depending what exactly you want to do in Conwy and Llandudno, and how, you know, how long of a day you want to spend exploring. But yeah, in Llandudno is again by the beach. As I did mention, it's got 2 beaches earlier. But yeah, there's also, well, there's a pier in Llandudno which actually has attractions on it. So there's a Ferris wheel, which I haven't been on because I did the Great Orme instead and got a nice view from the Great Orme instead of the Ferris wheel. But there's arcades there, stands to buy hot donuts, but do be careful because the seagulls will come for your hot donuts, so you do need to be really careful if you get a donut or any like food on the pier. But yeah, it's super nice. Obviously there's the Great Orme, I think I just mentioned that, which gives you incredible views of Llandudno and the sea, and you can hike up there or you can get the tramway up. I went with my parents and Alex like the day before my graduation, so we got the tramway up. I was quite disappointed though because I didn't see any goats at the top, because I was told there was loads of goats at Great Orme, but all I saw was goats in the distance as we were coming back down the tramway. So I think maybe they don't tend to go up the top during the day really when people are up and about up there, but there is a cafe up there and crazy golf up there. And yeah, you're meant to be able to see other wildlife as well, but we didn't see anything. I have seen a seal from the pier though once in Llandudno, but I did not. Yeah, that was only once, and I've been to the pier many times, so it's not like, you know, super likely. There's also Alice in Wonderland statues in Llandudno because the girl who the author based the book off of, she used to go on holiday to Llandudno. So the real life Alice used to go on holiday to Llandudno, which is why there's different Alice in Wonderland statues, and you can go on a little hunt to try and find all these different characters from Alice in Wonderland. I have not found them all, but I haven't deliberately gone looking for them either, but I found Alice, I found Mad Hatter, I found the Queen of Hearts, and I found the bunny. I believe that's Tweedledee and Tweedledum as well. There may be some more, but I haven't found them. I believe there was a map in Primark, at least there used to be a map in Primark of all of them. But yeah, there's a place to go shopping as well, because there's, you know, quite a few shops there if you like going shopping. So next I want to mention Beaumaris. Again, this is one I mentioned earlier, but as well as visiting the castle there are other things to do in Beaumaris. probably the best thing that I have done in North Wales was go on a Puffin Island cruise, and you can take these cruises from Beaumaris. Do check which time of year you would be likely to see puffins though, as they do only come to the island for mating season. You see lots of seals there as well, and lots of other like seabirds, and I believe if you get extra lucky you can see porpoise, which I think that's what they're called, porpoise, I'm not sure, but you know, there's other things you can see. I wouldn't be surprised if you got super lucky if you could see dolphins as well, because I have heard that sometimes dolphins are in the Menai Strait, so I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. But yeah, it's also just a nice place to go for a walk. There's a pier, there's colourful houses. I believe there's like an old prison or something you can explore, but maybe I'm making that up, but I did not explore the old prison. I did have the best pub fish and chips that I have ever had though, in a pub in Beaumaris, which I'm pretty sure is called the Georgian Dragon, because I remember thinking, why is a pub in Wales named the Georgian Dragon? But it does very nice fish and chips. And then lastly, for cute towns, there's Caernarfon, which to be honest isn't my favourite, because whenever I think of Caernarfon I just think of the castle. I don't think of much else. There are little shops and stuff, but I may just be sad because last time I went I wanted to go to the Dutch pancake place and it said it was open online, but when I got there it wasn't. So I believe it shut down. I don't know, I was sad. But you can actually see a part of the castle like wall from spoons, depending on where you're able to get a seat in the Wetherspoons. But yeah, Caernarfon's a nice place to go for a walk. I think we did a bit of a seaside kind of walk there as well, because I remember seeing oyster catchers, but I can't really remember. And yeah, lastly I want to talk about the Anglesey coastal path. So this is a walk you can do. You can't do the whole thing in a day. I think most people just pick parts to do. I actually did like the same part twice, but just a different route, because one time I went with flatmates, well, one flatmate and then two people from the flat opposite me in my first year of uni, and I believe me and my friend Holly were just following the two guys because they planned it and we tagged along. And I think we got a bit lost and ended up walking along the road rather than the coastal path, but we saw horses, so it was, I was still quite happy, and we could see the mountains. But at the end we got to South Stack, which was where we were trying to go, which is this beautiful lighthouse. And then the second time I went, I got close to South Stack but not close enough, because I went with the Mountain Walking Society, and pretty much every time I've gone on a walk with the Mountain Walking Society from Bangor University, it doesn't go to plan, people get lost, and then, yeah, I think they just said we're going to run out of time, we have to go back now. So, yeah, but the first time when I went with my friends, I got to see the sunset at South Stack, and it's absolutely beautiful. But there are other places that are worth visiting on the Anglesey Coastal Path walk. I was supposed to do another section with my friend Bedine when she was visiting. We were supposed to go between two places, which I'll leave here, which both were like, well, obviously by the coast, they had little bays, I believe. But yeah, then the weather was bad, and then I didn't get round to going by myself, because this was, you know, right towards the end of my time in Bangor, unfortunately. But I would love to do that part of the walk, because I saw there was some pictures of like a nice cliff and stuff on the All Trails app. So yeah, there's definitely lots of little coastal walks you can do around Anglesey, and there's a North Wales coastal path, so you can go for coastal walks without going to Anglesey as well. But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling on. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up if you do, and subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you never miss a video from me in the future. Please comment down below if you've been to North Wales before and why you love North Wales, or mention a place that I haven't mentioned that you think is really worth visiting, so that if other people are looking through the comments, they can see that, and maybe they will go and visit it. And maybe one day I will go visit it too, because I do read all the comments. And yeah, if you haven't been to North Wales, let me know which of the places that I've mentioned that you'd be the most excited, that you're the most excited to visit and you really want to visit. Let me know. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!